Hi, Donna.
Hi.
How you doing this week?
I'm doing all right.
All right. I just wanted to do a little recap from our last session, if that's okay with you, since we missed that 1 week.
Yes.
So the last session, I think we had a pretty good discussion. We talked a little bit about you reaching out to your mother-in-law, and having a little bit of a conversation with her about maybe meeting up sometime to just catch up and things like that. We talked a little bit about the frustration you've been having with your brothers and them not communicating that much, and we talked about some of the strengths you have with your relationships with your friends. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you like to talk about today?
Well, after we last met, I got to thinking a lot about my relationships in my life, and specifically how much I have the expectations for my family to be there, and how disappointed I get when they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And I started thinking about, like you said, the friendships that I have in my life and how they've been sort of like family to me. So I've just been really giving it a lot more thought, and I think what really had me scared was, my mom's not doing very well. And part of me is afraid of losing her as well. And I don't know that, losing both my parents in the same year is something that I'm really, just ready for. Her health hasn't been good, and taking care of her just really is a lot of work for me. I sometimes get overwhelmed with, just taking care of her and her physical health, and she's on oxygen 24 hours a day. So it just gets to be a real lot.
So you take care of your mother?
Yeah, my mom lives with me. So it's just me and her at home. And she's been in and out of the hospital a lot in the last 2 years. Every couple of months it seems like she goes into the hospital. Usually because she's either fallen or she's not wearing her oxygens, or her O2 drops significantly. She has chronic kidney disease as well. So she's on the verge of needing dialysis. She's got a lot of just medical problems that need attention, and she just doesn't want to go for it. And it's gotten so stressful at times that she just refuses to go by ambulance to the hospital. And I know she's not doing well because she's not responding to me. She's sleeping a whole lot. She won't get up off the couch. She won't get out of bed. She just wants to sleep all the time. And I know that that's usually her sign that something's wrong medically. There was even one time I called the ambulance, and the EMTs came over, and they asked her about going to the hospital, and she said no. And she flat out refused to go. And then the EMTs were going to leave. And I got so upset, and I got so frustrated, because here I couldn't go into work that day, because I came down and I found her on the floor in her bedroom, and I couldn't get her up. So that's what led me to call the ambulance. The ambulance, they were able to at least get her up and sitting in a chair. But then she kept saying, I'm fine. And they said, okay, she doesn't have to go. And I'm like, what do you mean she doesn't have to go? She's fallen. She may need x-rays. She may have broken something. She needs to go to the hospital. She needs to get checked out. And they told me she had a right to refuse care. And I got so frustrated that I remember telling the EMT, listen, if you guys leave, you'll be back in 5 minutes, because I'm going to hit her over the head. Then I'm going to call you. And so this way, when you come, she's not conscious. And she won't have the right to refuse treatment then. And you'll have to take her to the hospital. So it's been
quite a week.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just very overwhelming. I try and bring in like home health care aides after every hospital, but then hospitalization, she just refuses to work with them. You know, I have OT coming in, PT coming in, the nursing staff coming in to do vitals and help her with her meds, and she like won't answer the door for them. And then they're calling me up while I'm at work saying, you know, your mother's not answering the door. And I'm like, walk into my house, the doors are not locked. Well, we can't do that. I'm like, I'm giving you permission. Walk into my house. You're waiting for my mother to answer the door. She's not going to get up to invite you in. So it just, I love her dearly, but she makes me very angry sometimes. It makes it hard to love her.
I've noticed a theme of frustration in what you've said so far. What kind of things do you wish your relationship with your mother would be like? Like if you had an ideal scenario, what would it be like?
Well, I still see her as being like strong and capable. I still see her as someone who can take care of herself. And it gets really frustrating when she doesn't. When she doesn't use her nebulizer, when she doesn't, you know, take her meds. And then I look at her med boxes that I spend time every week out of my own time putting together for her. And then she hasn't taken her meds for 3 days.
So you'd like her to take initiative?
Yeah.
Like you have been doing?
I'd like her to care about her own health. I'd like her to care about being around and being part of my life for a few more years. Sometimes it feels like she's just kind of given up. You know, she will take off her oxygen. She knows she's not supposed to, but she'll take it off and start, you know, to walk to the bathroom or to walk to the kitchen. And I'm like, the oxygen cord is long enough for her to go there. So I don't understand why she takes it off. It's like, why would you purposely do that? Why would you not take the medicines that the inhalers that the doctors are prescribing so that you can breathe better? You know, she's gotten to the point where she doesn't want to go out anymore. She never leaves the house. And I'd like to take her out, you know, for lunch or dinner and to enjoy some activities with her. She's still, I mean, in my eyes, she's still young. I mean, she's not 90 years old. She's only 67. So I just feel like, you know, some depression has gotten in the way for her too. Actually, in one of her previous hospitalizations this last year, I had asked for, like, I guess a mental health evaluation for her, because I wasn't sure if some depression was, you know, in play for her there. And one hospitalization, you know, the doctor actually said he was a psychiatrist, and my mother was like absolutely refusing to speak to him because she said there's nothing wrong with her. So that was the end of that. So the next hospitalization, I brought it up again. Only I specifically asked them, you can't tell them who you are. Otherwise, she won't talk to you. So they agreed to follow along with me this time, which was good. And we actually got her started on Lexapro. It's an antidepressant. So I think she's been doing somewhat better with that than she had been before that. She's a little more active around the house, which is good, and I want her to be. You know, if she's just waiting to die, then I that's just not something I really want to be around.
And considering you lost your dad this year, I would assume that the time you get with your mother is very precious to you.
Yeah.
And it's hard that maybe you feel frustrated that she doesn't seem to put in the same amount of effort.
Yeah. She doesn't seem to want to take care of herself. Like she's almost given up, and it's really hard to just sit and watch her just give up like that and not care and not do what she can do to take care of herself. And you know, I'm in business of helping people, and it's like, but you can't help somebody who doesn't want to help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So then I feel like really powerless and really helpless, and it's hard.
It is hard. And it sounds like it's just that much harder because you're torn between wanting to spend the time with her and also not wanting to be around that kind of negativity that she doesn't want to help herself.
Yeah. So then I go out and I spend time out doing my own thing, whether it's work or with friends, and then I also feel guilty that I'm not at home, and what happens if she falls again? What happens if, she has an attack, an asthma attack or something? She can't breathe. Her stats go too low. And so then I'm always, like I can't go away.
And you said you're the only one that is providing care for her?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the mother of your one brother as well?
Yeah. And he doesn't come. He doesn't help out. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't call. He doesn't, and it's part of my frustration with him too.
What would you like him to do?
Help out. Show up. I mean, I guess I realize that he's, a good bit of distance away. He lives at least 2 hours away. So he can't come down that frequently. But he could call to check in on her. Mm-hmm. Ask her if she's taking her meds. Let her know that, he's thinking about her, that he cares about her. But they don't really have that great of a relationship either.
So you'd like him to show initiative as well?
Yeah. To take part, in her life, and but I think it's a little too late for that, It's like he hasn't done it already, and I don't really expect him to just start suddenly doing it because she's aging and she's not going to be around for very much longer, But then I wonder, if I lose my mom, then I really don't have much family left. So it's because my mom's an only child, so there's no aunts or uncles on my mother's side of the family. It's just my father's side of the family then. Mm-hmm. And none of them live close by either. They're all a distance away, living out of state. So I would really like to hang on to my mom for a while longer. I really would.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm hearing, I think, is I'm hearing a lot of anger and frustration at your family members, but also I think maybe there's a little anger at the fact that you feel you might be alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess loneliness is part of it, but I've got friends, I've got relationships, they keep me somewhat busy. But they're not the same as family. You know, as much as you can make them like family, they're still not family. You still got to understand when they've got their own lives and they've got their own family and they've got their own things to do. But then I guess that happens with family too, so I don't know.
What are some things you like to do with your friends that you don't get to do with your family?
That's a good question. We go hiking, go camping, now that the summer season's here, do a lot of that, walking, going out to eat, hanging out at each other's places.
So, sounds like more of a fun time than when you are just with your mother in the house or waiting for your brother to call or something like that.
Yeah, being around my mom is a little more I don't want to say depressing. It's sad. Because she doesn't want to do. She doesn't want to go out, even to sit on the front porch or to go out in the backyard. She used to do gardening with me, and we used to take care of the yard together. We used to plant vegetables this time of year. She'd help me around the house. It's taking care of the house itself is a lot. So when she's not there to help, it's, a lot of, and I realize that she's 68 years old. I realize that. But just even some of the just general housekeeping stuff, like that I ask her to do, which I don't think is a whole lot. But she doesn't even seem to want to do that. And so then I sometimes think about, whether or not it's getting time for power of attorney, because she gets confused a lot. She gets very forgetful. She'll do things without remembering she did things. Like this morning, she got into an argument with me over crab salad. It was the stupidest argument, but she's asked me where all her crab salad was, and I sat there and told her she ate it last night. I said, I came home from school, I walked the dogs, and when I came in from walking the dogs, you were eating crab salad. No, I wasn't, she said. I said, yes, you were. No, I wasn't. We got into a debate about it. And I realized it just wasn't worth it because I wasn't going to win the argument. So Ben ended up with I'll stop at the grocery store on my way home and get you more crab salad.
Sounds like There's the old version of your mom, where you used to do all those things with her. And then there's this new version of your mom that's less fun to be around.
Yeah.
Have you ever told her that you miss the old her?
Yes.
And how's that gone?
She tells me she's still the same person. She tells me nothing's changed. Yet there are times when I know she fights just to find words to say what she wants to say. They've told me that she has the beginning stage of Alzheimer's. And I'm just, the person I knew is, it's not really there anymore. I mean, it's still there, but I'm losing her. And I'm losing her before I'm ready to lose her, before she's going anywhere physically. I just wish that she could be healthier.
That's it's very understandable to feel like that. Personally, I've gone through a grandparent with Alzheimer's, so I can really feel what you're going through with that. Seeing the person change.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to watch them go downhill and feel like there's nothing you can do to stop it. And part of me says, oh, but if she wanted to, she could. She just has to do this, and she just has to do this. And if she were to keep her oxygen on and take her meds and go see her doctors, she'd be okay. And part of me also realizes that it's more than that, too. And that she's just getting older, and her health is declining, and that's just life.
So I think we can take notice of the things you can't change about your relationship with your mother and how things are going to progress. But what do you think are a few things that you think are realistic or that you can change with your mother for the better for the remainder of your time with her?
Probably to stop the arguing and the fighting that we do. When I think I'm getting frustrated with her, that I should just kind of back off, take a step back, not get into it with her, because then I feel bad and I feel guilty that I'm yelling at her. And then I know she feels bad. And so I think just stepping back, not always reacting to everything that she says, being able to let things go. So not always making myself so upset. And then I think that would go a long way to, her being happier if she can, if that makes sense. But I wonder if, maybe she's feeling down because we're we're yelling and fighting a lot. Yeah, because sometimes I really do get frustrated with her, and I do let her know. The frustration definitely comes out of me. And that's probably not my best moments.
Well, we're only human.
Yeah, but she's your mother, and you know, you're not supposed to be mean to your mother like that, I guess. You know, supposed to love them unconditionally, and sometimes I don't. So I would like to change that, I guess.
This kind of reminds me of us talking last session, just about the importance of your other relationships. And earlier today you said when your mother passes, you feel like you wouldn't have anyone except for your father's side. Well, last session we talked a little bit about you reaching out to your mother-in-law and
my stepmother.
Your stepmother. How's that gone since then?
It's gone. We haven't gotten together yet. But you know, we did have the email communication. She does. We're Facebook friends. So she has done some comments on there and some interaction on there. So we've had some contact. But not a whole lot, I guess.
So how's that feel?
I guess it's okay. You know, I wish I had more time to travel to see my family, but between school and work and internship, and I have no time. I have no time to go traveling 2 hours just to go see somebody for an hour or two, and I wish I had the time, but I don't. And yet, you know, at the same time, I sit here and say that they should have time, like my brother should have time, and he should come visit me, but yet maybe he doesn't have the time either. So.
If you had the time, what kind of things do you think you'd want to do, ideally, with your family?
At least get together for you know, something. Whether it be for a holiday or just to get together to meet up, do something, spend some time together. Doesn't have to be anything major. Maybe just going out to eat or something. Day in the park, I don't know. Getting together for a birthday party or something like that.
So some of the things you do with your other friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to be able to do that with family would be nice.
And would you say that's how you like to have fun, by being with other people?
Yeah.
Do you do anything by yourself for fun?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I guess I do. I go to a yoga class every week. That's on Tuesdays. and work keeps me pretty busy. But I'm part of a Lehigh Valley Runners group, so I do that. There's a Tail on the Trail walking group through St. Luke's that I participate in as well. So just, I like to stay active, going to the gym. That's pretty much what I do for myself, which isn't a whole heck of a lot because again, between work and school, there's not a whole lot of time.
You mentioned you do a lot of stuff outside.
Yeah, I like to.
Do you feel better when you're outside?
Oh, definitely. I like to take my dogs out for a walk. Take them to the park, dog park or something like that. I have 3 dogs, so they keep me busy too.
Yeah, it's good to get the fresh air.
Definitely. And then I meet up with some of my friends they have dogs too, so we have play dates with the dogs.
That's fun.
Meet up at the dog park together, yeah, it is.
So, what kind of stuff? Like, what do you feel when you're doing stuff like that, like being outside with the dogs or hiking with a friend or something like that?
Oh, it definitely feels good. Feels good to be just out and about and busy. It feels good to be with people, socializing, hanging out. Even when I'm alone with my dogs, it just feels good to be out of the house and doing something. Sitting at home watching my mom kind of drift away is depressing.
So there's a lot of freedom outside.
Yeah. A lot less sadness, that's for sure.
I feel like when you talk about your mother versus your friend, you can almost see the difference. When you talk about your mother, you see you kind of box yourself in. You talk about the sad things and that kind of thing with your mother. But when you talk about your friends and being outside and getting the fresh air, you seem to be so open and full of life, and like your eyes light up when you talk about them. Do you notice a difference like that?
Yeah, I feel the difference, definitely. It's like night and day. It goes from being in a real dark place where my mom's at, to like suffocating, like there's no air, and I'm powerless. I can't do anything to help her. She doesn't want to help herself, and we're fighting, we're arguing. She doesn't want to do anything to make herself better. It's really just a whole different, I don't know what, but it's that, and then there's the other half of my life where I get to be me. Get to do the things that I enjoy doing. And yeah, it's very different parts to my life.
You said you get to be you, so do you feel like a stranger when you're with your mother or when you're at home?
Not so much a stranger, but just like an outsider, maybe. Because I try and help her, and I try and do things for her, and I try and be nice. But again, it gets met with frustration and resistance, and then I just get it pushes my buttons and I react, and then we start yelling and screaming at each other, and that's never good. Never ends up in a positive way. So but it's the only kind of relationship that I have in my life that's like that, you know. My other relationships are going pretty well. I enjoy them. There's satisfaction in them. There's give and take. They're enjoyable relationships. I don't feel like I'm losing all of my energy in them, like I am with my mom. Yeah. I definitely think if I, if I can start reacting a little bit less to her stuff, not let it get to me so much, that maybe it could be a little bit more like, I don't want to say even, but
you could be more like yourself.
Yeah. That I wouldn't get, because I wouldn't get as frustrated as much. So if I'm not reacting, I'm not working myself up, I'm not getting myself all upset, all angry, all frustrated. So I can just, be more myself. And I won't feel as, like, caught in this, I don't know, love-hate relationship. I'm not sure what to call it. I feel bad. I love her, but yet there's some resentment, I guess, at the same time. Having to take care of her. And I don't think I should be feeling that. I think I should be wanting to take care of her, like a good daughter does, that I should be, she took care of me, I should be taking care of her now. Kind of the whole role reversal thing. But instead, it makes me very angry just to be able to have to do the things that I do. And I don't like myself for getting angry like that.
You'd like it to be a happier relationship.
Yes. Definitely.
Because it seems like here's how you want to be when you're with your friends and when you're outside, and here's how you don't want to be when you're with your mother. But you also want to have that relationship with your mother still. So I feel like there's a lot of
Catch-22.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want the relationship, but she's aging. She's getting older. Her health is declining. These are the things that I tell myself to
make it seem more okay.
Yeah, so that I'm maybe not going to be so angry. That I'll have more tolerance and less frustration with her.
Well, Donna, we're coming to the end of our time, so I just wanted to do a quick recap of what we
Sure.
talked about today. I feel like we unpacked a lot of frustration about your relationship with your mother. We talked a little bit about the frustration with how you wish your brother was more involved with your mother. We talked about the good relationships you have and how you feel when you're with friends or when you're with yourself in a situation where you feel more free. And we talked about how you'd like your relationship with your mother to be more like them. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, it does.
All right. I guess we'll pick this up next week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.